really need to know. You know, things that we don't know. The colors of the ribbons. What certain ribbons mean. You know, skin cancer. That's a black ribbon. AIDS. That's a red ribbon. Breast cancer. That's a pink ribbon. Did you guys know that? Ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, kids and adults, take heed and wisen up to your health. Wisen up to your health. Do you know what opportunistic diseases are? Or opportunistic infections are? Opportunistic infections, it's an infection that causes other type of illnesses. Bacteria, viruses, fungi, or those things, you know, that take advantage of an opportunity not normally available, such as, you know, hosts with a weakened immune system, an altered body, such as a disrupted gut. Did you know all of that? Ladies and gentlemen, wisen up. Wisen up and know. And don't just take it from me, because I'm not a doctor. I don't want to be a doctor. I'm too honest to be a doctor. They'll kill me. They will kill me if I become a doctor, because I'm going to talk the truth. And I'm not going to hide it from you. You know? I'm not going to hide that from you. The doctor it has to see us in order to stay in business. It's like a mechanic. You know, they're not always going to fix your car where you don't have to come back ever again. There's always going to be something wrong with your car, or else they would be out of business. Did you know that? Did you know that? Did you know that getting a massage at least once or twice a month can lower your stress levels 5%? Did you know that? There's so much stuff out there, ladies and gentlemen, to know, you know, and it is so much to learn. I'm still learning.
Let's give him Johnson.
You know? You know what cleft is? When a baby or a person is born with the lip kind of, you know, like piece of it missing. Did you know that awareness is in July? It just passed. Did you know that it's not just Africa where AIDS is? AIDS is everywhere. And 34 billion people worldwide are affected each year. Did you know that? Did you know that? Did you know that there's a difference between STDs and STIs? Did you know that there's another disease that has the same abbreviation, AID, but it's not AIDS itself? Wisen up. And I'm going to tell you guys about it. In this video here, I'm just briefing on a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be talking about in my future vids. This here is actually the very first one that I'm doing. The very first one. You know? I have others that I've done, but they were mainly for like Facebook, and it's kind of hard to get them transferred over and all that. Some of them I've done and then deleted the video from the phone, and I just got a new phone, so I also lost a lot of stuff from that old phone that I had. You know? But there's a lot to learn and a lot to know. There's a lot to know. There's so much. And a lot of people, they say like diseases are some diseases are rare, which is true. But if you are one who happens to have a rare disease or rare sickness, don't feel like you're alone, because you're not. You're not. So you're not going through this alone. Don't feel alone. That's one of the worst things. Did you know? Is one of the worst things to be going through something so traumatic alone. Ladies and gentlemen, wisen up. Wisen up. Yeah, you see me sweating because I'm kind of hot. It's very hot. It's actually like 97 degrees, they say, in the shade. You know? Did you know that vitamin D, which we need, is an alkaline source? And we get that from the sun and from mushrooms. Mushrooms are the only vegan food that can make vitamin D. They contain a provitamin of precursor called agrosteriol that is converted to vitamin D when exposed to the sun, similar to how the skin synchronizes vitamin D. Did you know that a cow is a hybrid animal? God didn't make a cow. So why are we drinking milk? Milk is not good for us. A lot of things we've been lied to about. Did you even know that moringa seed is beneficial for protecting hair against free radicals and keeps it clean and healthy? Moringa also contains protein, which means it helps and is very helpful in protecting skin cells from damage. Did you know that? I'm telling you. Turmeric. Did you know that turmeric is good for your brain? Good for your memory? And many other things? Natural Factors apple cider vinegar offers a wide variety of health promoting benefits. You should check them out. Did you know about them? Let me tell you, I got a lot of stuff that I want to get out there through the grace of God, with God getting all the glory of it. All the glory. If any of you follow me, you know, you've probably seen some of my previous videos where I was telling you like my goal for becoming a YouTuber. And if you haven't seen it, type in that. Servant David goal for being a YouTuber. You know, and it should pop right up. But that's just a few things that I wanted to share with you guys until I could go live and put a little education to it, or inform someone who may be misinformed about it. Because this thing went viral, basically, say in the early '80s to the mid '80s. It started to go rampant around the whole entire United States. But it actually started long before then. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was in the back in the 1920s. And it kind of originated from, I guess there were monkeys, right, or chimpanzees back in Africa or whatever. And you used to have, like, the guys that go out there and they hunt. They used to, they eat monkey. So the hunters will go out there and either get injured somehow and come in some type of contact with the monkey, whether it be getting bit or it be even as far as injuring themselves. They have a cut on their hand or something like that, and they, because they're hunters. And in the process of chopping the monkey and dealing with the, chopping it up and stuff like that, the blood eventually gets into them, and by also eating the infected monkey. And it could have also been the women, because women also used to take care of the food and stuff like that. So that's how they say it originated from. And there's a lot of other things that happen from it, of how it really got, to spread so rapid. I'm not really going to touch that topic. I'm actually going to save that one for another time. But just to shed a little light on it briefly, there was a doctor named Robert Gallo, and he basically injected a couple of humans with it, and it began to spread even more like that. Now, this thing called HIV is a monster, and it's a genius. It's a very smart thing. And it can trick the body into doing and thinking lots of things. For any of you who may be in the medical field and know anything about the human body and the cells of the human body is made up of many different cells. The two basic type of cells that make up the human body are the red blood cells and the white blood cells. Now, the red blood cells, they are there for your oxygen. They help your oxygen and all of that. The white blood cells, those are the white blood cells that fight off all type of infectious bacteria. Those are your soldier cells, per se. So they fight off all sicknesses and stuff like that. When the body, well, let me back up a little bit, sorry. I didn't rehearse or anything like that, so please, just bear with me. And again, I'm a little nervous about doing this because I want to get the right message across the right way, and it's hard. No? So the human body is supposed to have an average of between 500 and 1,200 white blood cells. Again, the white blood cells are the blood cells that fight off bacteria. Now, when HIV enters into the body, the first place that it goes is into the stomach. It hides inside your intestines, and it builds up. As it's building up, I wish I had some type of dialogue or something that I could show you, some type of animation, something that I could show you. But the virus builds up inside the stomach, and it starts to go out into your body. As it goes out into your body, it attacks specifically the white blood cells. It does not touch the red blood cells. It only attacks the white blood cells because that's what it was designed to do. That's what it does. So it attacks the white blood cells. When it launches on to the white blood cell, it embeds itself inside of the white blood cell. So the body that is producing these white blood cells, when they see that white blood cell, it gets confused and thinks that it's a healthy cell, when in all actuality, it's really a sick cell. The virus, the AIDS virus, is inside that white blood cell, maturing and growing. When it reaches to a certain point, it actually destroys that white blood cell completely and goes on to another cell and other cells and other cells.
Bless greetings, Sidonia.
HIV, it replicates itself. It reproduces itself, but it can only do that with good cells, and that's why it attacks specifically the white blood cells. Also, because it's designed to kill. Now, as the virus attacks these soldier cells and kill them off, eventually over time, you start to get sick. When someone, the most common sign for someone that is infected, and this may shock you, but it could be as far as a common cold. You may think you have a sore throat or a little flu. A flu-like symptom is very, very similar to you being caught catching AIDS. But just because you have those symptoms does not mean necessarily that you have it. That's why getting tested is very, very, very important. Very important. It's better to know than not to know. I've been tested. How about you? Get tested. Again, I will talk about that too later on, and also in maybe other, videos that I do. This is the first I'm doing, and I'm going to see how it goes. So, again, the virus, it attacks the white blood cells, and it kills them off, spreading throughout the whole body. Over time, the body starts to break down. The human body is supposed to have between 500 and 1,200 copies of the white blood cells. Once the white blood cells reach a level of 200 or less, they consider that being HIV. It could be other things as well, but once the white blood cells reach 200 or lower, it's considered AIDS. HIV processes into AIDS. So you get the virus, the HIV virus first. HIV is human immune virus. AIDS is autoimmune deficiency syndrome. When the body is infected with the HIV and the levels drop down to 200 or less, again, that's when the body you are considered to have full-blown AIDS. Once you have that, you start to show many more signs, and like losing weight, rashes may come out, certain cancers, body aches, many different things. Weight loss is a very, very popular sign. You start to shrink down, you start to get fevers and this and that. And that is how the virus takes over the body. Once HIV is into the body and it's untreated, that's when it really gets into, you know, a dangerous state. Back in the 80s, this thing was new to them, or so they acted. That's what I think. You know, it was new, or they didn't have the technology, whatever, to deal with things. Since then, they've come out with many different medications. But my views on medication or pharmaceutical drugs is, I'm not going to touch that either right now. You know, I'm going to prepare for that one. But I don't think that, you know, no, we should be putting chemicals inside of our body. You know, the Father, Almighty God, He clearly gave us the cure for everything. The human body is designed to cure itself of anything, as long as we take care of it properly, meaning we eat right and we exercise properly and we take care of the body properly. Thank you, everyone, for coming on. Everything's going so fast, and I'm trying to concentrate. So if I haven't healed you up or said anything to you, blessed love to you. You see? I don't really want to get off track by looking at names and calling names either, you know? But blessed love to each and every one of you who log on. And if you're just logging on, I'm asking you to, you know, share this and even go back and watch from the beginning if you missed any. Again, let's get back to it because I'm kind of running off a track here. So the virus, it turns into AIDS once it's untreated, and it begins to you know, kill off the body. HIV can hide dormant inside your body for many years. Again, let's back up a little bit to the part where, let's say you get infected and you start to show those signs of the flu, you know. That flu symptom will last maybe approximately a few weeks, you know, and then it can go away by itself, or it can go away by being treated, you know, by you know, taking over-the-counter meds or whatever, and then it kind of relaxes. That's when it's there doing its job, killing off the body. So well, I'm telling you, this thing is really a monster. I'm really a genius.
Okay, simple things. Definitely, I definitely will. Definitely.
From the time it's HIV until the time it reaches AIDS, it's about between an 8 to 10 year process. So that just shows you that, you know, you can live with it for very long, probably longer, and not even know. You know? So again, that's why it is very important to get tested. Get tested regular, especially if you have multiple partners. Even if you're married. Even if you're married, it does not matter, get tested. You know, talk to your partner, talk to your friends, talk to your family about it. Because this, like I said, this thing came out or surfaced years ago, and after a while it seemed to have kind of died down. But let me tell you something, it ain't going nowhere. It's still here. So once that like I was saying, the HIV, for it to process into AIDS, is between an 8 to 10 year process. But each person is different. So that's where this thing can also be tricky. So just because someone may get it, it may not take the full 8 years before signs start to show. What I mean by that is, let's say Jonathan, let's say you have Jonathan, you have Greg, and you have Sally. Jonathan and Greg both had sex with Sally. Sally is the infected party.
Blessed greetings, Shanti, so pretty. Good to see you. Long time I not see you. Blessed greetings.
No, whether the two guys knew about it or not, or knew about each other or not, it doesn't matter. It could have been different times, but let's go on the same day, because some people are like that. They have sex with multiple people same day. Not wise. Anyway, so the two guys, they have sex with Sally. No, the first guy, he takes care of his body from long time. He eats proper. He exercises a lot. He takes care of his body, while the other guy does not. He eats junk food. He smokes. He drinks. He doesn't exercise. Stuff like that. You know. So his body is not as healthy as the other one. Let's say the first guy has 800 white blood cells, and the other guy has 600 white blood cells. They're still pretty much healthy, right? Only difference, one is higher than the other. So now when they both come in contact with the HIV virus, the one who has the less white blood cells, obviously his white blood cells are going to die off quicker than the other guy who has more white blood cells. So the guy with the less white blood cells can start to show signs within weeks to months, when the other guy, he doesn't show signs at all. But yet they both are infected. So that is how the HIV, it kills off the body. There are many different beliefs or myths on how you get it and this and that. I'm going to tell you a few of them. First of all, you cannot catch HIV or AIDS from anyone by touching them, meaning shaking a hand, hugging them, dancing with them, or playing with them, or anything like that. You cannot get it from a toilet seat. You cannot get it from sharing bathrooms or showers. You cannot get it from sharing clothes. You can get it from kissing if both parties have open cuts in their mouth or sores in their mouth. Then that's where it gets to it. Or deep kissing, deep tongue kissing. You know? So that is how you can get it. You can get it. You cannot by kissing. That is how you can get it. Oral sex. It's not common, but it can happen. It's about a 2% chance of it happening. But the way that happens is it's usually the person doing the oral. Now, you know, let's say you have, because you have a lot of different type of people out there. Some are bisexual, some are straight, and some are I don't want to offend anyone, but homosexuals, right? They let's talk about them. Now, for two guys to be having that type of relations, it's usually the bottom. When I say bottom, I mean the guy doing the oral to the guy. That if the guy who is receiving is infected, he can pass it to the guy doing it if he ejaculates in his mouth. Or again, if there are sores or cuts in his mouth and you know the liquids from all of that combined, and that's how you get it. But if the guy who is doing it has it, it's a lesser chance of him giving it to the guy that is receiving it. I don't know if that makes any sense. The same thing with two women, or the same thing with a guy and a female. It's usually the receiver who ends up getting, other than giving. I don't even know where else to go with this, and I don't know how much info I've actually been able to give you all. But I'm gonna try to keep on, doing this and shedding a little bit of light again, as I said, on HIV/AIDS, because it's a serious thing, and it is still going around in this world today. All over the world. This thing is all over the world, and it's not just someone who is having sex who can catch it. The unborn baby inside the mom can catch it. The baby sucking on the breast can catch it. There are so many different ways. You don't have to be homosexual to get it. You don't have to share needles to get it. You don't have to be killing monkeys and eating monkeys and all of that as the hunters were doing back then to get it. There are many different ways that you can get it. And just by looking at someone, you cannot tell that they have it. There's no way to look at someone or to even look at yourself and say you have it. Now, if you are aware with some of the symptoms, you can point out certain things and note and say, okay, maybe this might be, and maybe it might not be. That's where you go and get it checked and stuff like that. So again, this HIV/AIDS is a very serious thing. It's still out there. It's still prevalent. There's also another disease called lupus. Lupus is very similar to HIV. Very similar, but it's not the same.
Bless greetings, Rush Comedy. Bless, thanks for coming. Bless greetings.
Again, and another thing, don't just. I'm telling you what I've learned from my research and from my looking up and from my experience. So don't just take my word for what I'm telling you. Look into it. Research. Do your research. Every minute we're down in our phone and we're on Facebook and we're on Instagram and this and that, and take a few minutes to pick up a book, or while you have your phone in your hand, go to Google and wherever you have to go and do some research, and don't just take it from me. Know for yourself. And again, getting tested is the best thing that you could do, because prevention again is better than cure. It is better to know than not to know, especially to find out when it's too late. Again, your diet has a lot to do with you either maintaining or actually curing AIDS.
Thank you for that, Rush. Yeah, man. Blessed Lord for that. Bless.
But again, this is just the first time I'm doing this, and I don't want to bunch up everything in one. I feel like I want to do this again, with the help of the Almighty God. So I'm asking each and every one of you again to just please get tested. Get tested often. Do what you have to do to know.
Our people infected with HIV and AIDS. In non-fresh words, have already been slain. But it's so long. After all, you're only home, and it could have been one of us. One night has come.
I can't take the pain. I only got myself to blame. My business. Told you. Make sure you're properly fed. Yeah. Again, I'm asking you all to share this and go back and listen to what you may have missed if you're just now logging on. I thank you all in the mighty name of Jesus for stopping in and giving me the time. But again, this is a very, very important topic. Awareness. Did you know that women who are HIV infected have a higher chance of breast cancer than those that are not infected? Yeah. So again, get tested, because it's better to know than not to know. Thank you all for stopping in and checking out this. Please share, play back, because it's information well needed.
Yeah. So I hope you guys, got some good info from that. And I'm gonna go ahead and some of you are aware with my story, my situation, as you know, and for those who don't know, in um in 2018 I was diagnosed with lung cancer, skin cancer, and AIDS. And I've done a few videos about it, a few interviews and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna play one of those interviews. Let it go on, and you guys can listen and those things. So I hope this is, you're getting something from this, and please, this is not for any pity or anything like that. It's just me telling my story with the hopes that, you know, maybe I can help someone get through their issue. Because a lot of times we tend to think that our problem is the worst, but we forget that there is someone out there with a much serious situation than our own. So just take this in and wanna go and enjoy, yeah?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have on the camera Mr. Servant David. We've been talking about this interview for quite a while, and I'm glad he's able to come today and provide his time I'm hearing some background. You don't have any headphones or anything, right?
You're on the speaker still.
I'm on the speaker. All right. Well, all right. I'm hearing a little.
Hold on. Let me see if. Hold on.
Yeah. Because it's just that I'm hearing a little feedback. You're coming through good enough, which is good. I like that. I just want to make sure any little distraction is not an issue. All right. So what we're going to do, we're going to get started. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Servant David, pleasant day to you. So welcome to Ruler Brown Network and all the networks checking you out also on Facebook. Big man, good day. How are you doing?
I'm blessed regardless, you know?
Mm-hmm. All right, what you can do for me, see, when you're speaking, try and keep, wherever you have the mic or the phone, keep your mouth, not your mouth, but keep your face towards that. You don't have to come that close, but just speak. Don't turn away. In other words, try not to turn away. All right, so we're going to get some messing up out of the sound. So, okay, just let the listeners know who you are, where you're from. I know you're from Jamaica, but just give the listeners a background, which school you attended, which parish when you came to the States, just for leading, so we can get started. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, well, first of all, let me take time out to say thanks to God and thanks to you, Ruler, for allowing this to happen. I also want to do a small little prayer before I go into it.
Blessings.
You know, dear God, I ask that let the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable unto your sight. May someone learn from this, be inspired from this, and also do not take this as a pity party, because it's not about pity or fame or any of that. It's just me bringing awareness to this and other things as well. So I ask you to give me strength, Lord, in these things. Glory to your name. Okay, my name is Servant David. Born in Jamaica, grew up in St. Anne's. I didn't spend much time in Jamaica. I came here from young. Actually, started school here in the U.S. When I say here, I mean in the U.S. I started school here. So I did all my schooling and everything basically here in the U.S. Started off in Hartford, Connecticut, and then grew up a few years. And then as I get older, I end up, into manhood. I end up moving down to Oklahoma. I spent some time in Oklahoma, probably about 6-7 years, and then came back here, and then we're here now. So that's basically where I'm from, and the beginning of me as a child. I was born. To me, you see, my whole life is like a testimony to me, anyways. It's like from birth, I was born sick. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of a disease. It's a rare disease called Hirschsprung's disease, and it's an intestinal disease. It's something to do with the intestines.
Could you please repeat the word? Is it Hirschsprung?
Yeah.
What Hirschsprung? What's the word? Hirschsprung?
Hirsch, H-E-R-S, Hirsch.
Yeah, Gotcha. Sprung's. Okay, gotcha.
Hirschsprung's disease.
Okay.
And it's a rare disease, but it's with the intestines. And under the age of a year, I had like 5 different open stomach surgeries. So I spent most of my life in the hospital.
Wow.
And I tell you this to kind of shed a little bit of light on what happens later on in life. Me spending most of my life in the hospital from young, put kind of like a fear into me. Just the smell alone, the injections, the doctors in the outfits and all that just kind of put a fear in me. So as time go on, I grow up and like I said, I move to Oklahoma, spend a few years there, come back here. I've been married twice. So I got married here and then moved to Oklahoma and then go through a divorce, come back here, and just December 17th this year went through my second divorce. So I don't know, maybe marriage is not for me.
So I clearly the early days, the early experiences weren't that smooth, but you decide that look, you're not gonna make nothing hold you back, and you're in Connecticut. In your early days in Connecticut, what were some of the things you were involved with?
Before conversion
we're starting before you converted, but just to give
always from the idea have a love for dogs. Right. I've always had this thing for dogs. Music is another thing. And just growing up basically, just go in my early years, it was just music and dogs and the normal thing some of us go through.
So the dogs, because later on we're going to touch on the fact that you mentioned about dogs. Later on we'll be able to make a slight connection with what you've been going through and how you've been surviving, reaching out and doing different things. You got to a point where you started singing. So let's touch a little bit about the singing. Then we're going to go through to your situation. Singing. When did you start singing, and how did you first decide to do some singing? I know you were just touch on that for me, please.
Yeah. Well, from early childhood, I would say like in my teen years, this phone is acting up. I would say from like my teen years, going to school and stuff. Like I've always had a thing for music, and I've done selecting and everything. But my greatest passion was more performing music. So I would, as you would say, do like dancehall DJ music.
All right.
Worldly music.
All right. So who let us? So just gonna play a couple of bars.
A little bit of rapping here, a little bit of stuff like that.
All right. Let me play.
And then as I get
David, yeah, let me just play a couple of bars so that people can hear. Not much, because I play just a couple of bars and then we'll play one other one. Just yes, Serpent David, the man on the screen, again diagnosed with lung cancer, skin cancer, and AIDS a year ago. All right, indeed, the voice of David going to give you one more. All right, indeed. All right, Mr. David going to give you one more, and then we're going to give you.
Greetings in the name of the Most High. When this day we face him as Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Glory be to God all the while. Well, enough for them, a big imposter. Every day them get the power.
All right, folks not get too much height, guy doesn't do that anymore. Just giving you a backdrop as to when he got started. So those were the kind of stuff you were doing, and then you changed. When did you actually start to do like this one? I want for you to comment on this one. I'm longing for home, all right?
Each and every time, serving the pilgrim and stranger in this unfriendly world that I run. For Jesus, who brought me from darkness, has promised me a heavenly home. In the Bible, we read about that.
Big song, we've been playing this for about. But when did I first meet you on my shows? You remember when? David? Yes, sir. I was asking, when did I first meet you on these shows? Because I know Tim Ruelo, Lee Hammond were some of the people when I first met you. How long ago was that, by the way? You remember? 5 years?
Approximately 5 years ago.
Yes, all right.
5-6 years ago.
Yes, and you sent me this one, and I've been playing it since then. And you are a brother that's quite humble. You are a Christian, a true Christian. And I want for you to talk about the situation you're faced with. Talk about what led up to you finding out that you, a year ago, just let the listeners know, what did you find out about the current situation you're in? Yeah.
All right. As I said, I was married twice, and I just recently going through my second divorce. I would say last year, around actually not even last year, 2017, November, is when a lot of the I guess you would say signs started to come out. Like I would see little marks on my body, but just take it as maybe a little rash or something, because eczema runs big in the family, and but again, I'm not a doctor type person. I don't run to the doctor. I don't like the doctor. I just don't, So I never really went for any checkups or anything like that. And then down in December, I started to get sick. Backing up a little bit, going to church or just being around, people would see me and they would make comment like, "Why, servant, brother David, you're looking good. You look like you're losing weight, man, and this and that." And I never saw the weight loss. I never felt it. I never saw it. I wasn't on no diet. I just wasn't seeing the weight loss, but other people were. And like I said, down into December now, I started to get real sick, like with fevers of 102, 103. The last time it was 104 point something, and that's when I was rushed to the hospital. They kept saying like they want to test me for give me an HIV test, and I would say no, I don't need no test. I don't need that test. I don't need that test. And even in years past, they would ask me anytime I did end up go to a doctor for some. They would, I guess it's recommended that they ask each patient, and I would always turn it down.
Yeah, and you're figuring, well, hey, clearly you have no reason to want to have an HIV test because you probably weren't in any of the risk group. Is that why?
At the time, so I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you see, let me clarify that. When I say risk group, okay, let me get this straight from the get-go. One of the main reasons I'm telling my story is because I have no shame in it. This thing can happen to
anybody. It can happen to the old, the young, even the unborn baby. I know I am not bisexual. I am not gay or anything like that. So I'm good. You know?
Yeah.
No, the other way you can catch it is through using IVs. I know I don't do drugs.
Intravenous drugs, yes.
Using the needles and sharing needles. I don't do needles. I'm afraid of needles, remember? So obviously it's not that. But I was loose and foolish. You know, me and condom wasn't friends. I didn't like condom too tough. I'm not saying I've never ever used it. I just, most of the time, I didn't.
So
I probably used it about 5 times in my whole life.
So basically, you were promiscuous out there with women, and you were protecting yourself the best way you can. Is that correct?
Yes, but not. I wasn't using condom.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I wasn't using condom.
You were not, right?
You know, I was not, and that's where the risk factor comes into play. But me blindly not just thinking like, oh, I'm not using needles or I'm not gay, and that's the way I can catch it.
Right.
Was foolish.
Gotcha.
You know. And so I got sick. They started to treat it as bronchitis.
Before
they gave me medicines for it and this and that, and after a while, you know, I went back for like checkup or for you know, like a update on it, and I still wasn't getting any better or anything like that, and they just kept on, especially the coughing, you know, and they just kept on pushing that I get the test. So it wasn't done. That was in December. It wasn't until February. No, I'm getting really weak. When I say lose weight, if you see me, I suck out like, you know, you would think I was using drugs. You know. I then noticed the weight loss big time, because at times it would be painful to sleep because it seemed like I'm sleeping on my bone. You know, it seemed like it just painful to sleep. You know, look in the mirror, you see the collarbone, it's sucking.
Wow.
I could see my the backbone, and it was just crazy. Fevers coming, vomiting, all kind of stuff. So
David,
February, and David, I went back for, like I said, for a checkup.
David, hold your thoughts for a second. Hold your thoughts for a second, David. So here we are. When you speak of February, it's February 18, correct?
18.
No,
February 2018.
No, were you living with any loved ones? Were you living alone? The family? Were you married then? What's the story there?
Okay. So that's why I say I back up into 2017, where I was married, and we went through our things, you know, and I tried to make the marriage work, tried to make it work or whatever. It wasn't working. In November of 2017 is when that was it. I basically ended up leaving the house. You know, we parked, you know. I ended up going back up at my parents' house, and this is 2017. So I ended up back at my parents' house in 2017 of November, right? About a week before Thanksgiving or something like that. Then December, I start to get like sick. And then, you know, January and then February. And I feel like what brought on a lot of this sickness is stress.
Stress, okay.
Stressing because of the situation and stuff like that. And I feel like it brought out a lot of it. So then like I said, we boost into 2018, January, still sick. Ending up January a little bit better, but still coughing up all kind of stuff and ray. And February was the last straw, high fever. rushed into the hospital, and they're telling me if I didn't come in, how this would have happened and that would have happened. They suggested I take a HIV test and this and that. And I was ifing and butting about it. And finally, I just said, okay, as long as it's just a prick. I don't want you to have to like draw blood and all of that kind of. They said, no, you just got to prick the finger, and then we find out, you know, if you have it. That was the initial test, and it was the longest 30 minutes I ever waited in my life. The doctor went away. You know, they pricked me with my finger. They went away. They come back and he said, sorry to tell you, but you're positive. And I blacked out, I guess, or spaced out, or I don't know what you want to call it. I just went into like a steer. Like, I don't know, blacked out. I call it blackout.
No. Let me ask you this. At this time, though, you've been active in the church, and when you went for this test, did you have anyone from the church, or you just went there by yourself? Because going for this type of test, hopefully you would have had somebody there to provide some immediate strength. What was that like?
By myself.
By yourself?
By myself.
So
all by myself. No wife, no children, no mom, no dog, no nothing. Just me. I just went to the hospital, and he, like I said, he come back and he tell me it's positive.
All right. Speaking of children, you have children, right? How many children do you have?
Three.
Three
kids.
Okay. All right. And
well, I mean, then again, I can't even say I have a lot of children. Biologically, only one, you know.
Okay.
But I adapt to kids, and kids adapt to me. So it's like I take them on as mine. Just like I said, I was married twice. Right. So my first wife, she has children, which are my children. You can't tell me they're not. You can't tell them I'm not. It's just one of those things. And the same with the recent ex-wife. She has kids, and they're like my kids as well. And she even have two grown kids who have kids. And it's like, to me, they're my kids as well.
Understand. So David, by this time, you got the news from the doctor. Shocking. You didn't know what to do. You couldn't move. Did you at some point, whether then and there or maybe shortly thereafter, try to reflect how you could have gotten the disease? Did you ever try to discern what happened?
I tried to discern. You see, the thing about AIDS, HIV, and AIDS is this thing is a genius of a monster. It's a monster, and it's a genius. This thing, okay. They say that HIV causes AIDS if untreated. And in order for it to take, I'm trying to explain this so everyone will understand.
Yeah, man, take your time. Go ahead.
Okay, HIV turns into AIDS when untreated. For instance, like, your white blood cells are your good blood cells. The blood cells that are used to fight off all and any bacteria. You see the human body? Don't let no doctor fool you. The human body is designed to heal itself as long as we take care of it for it to do what it's supposed to do.
Right.
Okay? Your white blood cells are your soldier cells, per se, the ones that do all the fighting. Your red blood cells, your red blood cells are the ones that give you your oxygen. When HIV enters your body, it it attacks specific parts of your body, your lymph nodes and your white blood cells, mainly your white blood cells. It's designed to do that. It was made by man to do that. So it starts to eat up your white blood cells. The average human is supposed to have between 500 and 1,200 white blood cells. When I got diagnosed, I only had 27 white blood cells.
What? It's almost zero. 500 to 1,200, you only have 27.
Like 1, 2, 3. Yeah, wow. 27. 2, 7. That's it.
Wow.
White blood cell. So that's why. So when they first took the initial prick of the finger, that just tells you that you are HIV positive. It doesn't tell you how much of the virus is inside of you.
Gotcha.
So I had to go back for a follow-up, which was the next day, to get blood drawn, and then they send it to the lab. I wait a few days, and then they give you the results. So back to the white blood cells now and HIV. The HIV, it eats up the white blood cells. Once the white blood cells reach under 200, you start to fall into the AIDS status.
Gotcha.
And that's when they say consider it AIDS. So yeah, in February when I got tested, I was full blown AIDS.
Wow.
They said that the count was, I don't have the paperwork with me.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I should have had it. Sorry.
That's
but
right.
At the time, it was 300 billion copies of the AIDS virus.
Mm-hmm.
You see, the virus, it multiplies by the second. It duplicates it. It attacks the white blood cells and goes inside of it, fooling the rest of the body, letting the body think that white blood cell that is now infected is a good blood cell, which it really isn't. It's an infected one. Mm-hmm. And the virus grows inside that white blood cell until it progresses to more, and then it starts to just take over kill all the good cells, where you only have bad cells. So no, you don't. Another thing is you don't die from AIDS. AIDS is called autoimmune deficiency. It means that your immune system has shut down. Mm-hmm. What kills you normally when infected with HIV is a specific kind of pneumonia, or other kind of things, such as a simple cold, lung cancer, like I have, and anything. Just touching a dirty doorknob and then rub your eye, where you would probably, the average person would probably get pink eye. Mm-hmm. I would die because, or could really die because I don't have anything to fight off those type of...
No antibodies to fight against.
Right. Mm-hmm. So, but the thing about this now, like I said, the average person is supposed to have between 500 and 1,200 white blood cells. Mm-hmm. Let's take you, Ruler, and let's take me, for instance, right? Me and you meet Sally. Her name is Sally. Mm-hmm. Me and you meet Sally. Mm-hmm. And the two of us have, relations with Sally. Mm-hmm. Let's say it happened the same day. Mm-hmm. The difference is, with you, Ruler, let's just say you are the type of person that you eat right, you stay fit, you take care of your body, and me now, I smoke, I eat junk food, I don't exercise, I don't do much of anything. Mm-hmm. My immune system from start and your immune system from start, yours is stronger than mine. So let's say we're supposed to have 500 to 1,200. Mm-hmm. Let's say you have 900 and I have 600. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. We're still healthy, but your immune system is stronger than mine.
Right.
Now the HIV comes into both of us because we both had relations with Sally. Mm-hmm. My immune system starts to get eaten up more than yours, even though yours is getting attacked as well. Mm-hmm. Mine get eaten up even quicker than yours.
Yeah, the rate.
So my immune system drops faster and lower than what yours would. So instead of this thing supposed to, not like they say, it takes 8 to 10 years for it to progress into AIDS. I can progress into AIDS within months because of the level of my good white blood cells from start. The thing is, nobody ever really knows unless they constantly are going to get checked for their white blood cells and this and that. Unless they regularly do stuff like that, they won't know what their average count is.
Gotcha.
You get what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So, no, you get it, and I get it, but I start to die off or show symptoms quicker than you. You understand it?
Yeah, man. Following you. I don't want to interrupt you because you're on a flow, so go ahead, man.
So basically, that's where they found me. They found me at my CD4 count was 27, and the virus load was like 300 billion something another.
All right,
some crazy number.
All right, so let's take it from here now. So here you are, you're full-blown AIDS, and some of it you did not even realize. At this point, February 2018, you got the test. On the 15th of February, though, you were diagnosed, my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you had lung and skin cancer and AIDS. Can you describe the integral, if there's any such thing in terms of when you found out you have the cancers, and where the cancers was a reason from the AIDS and so forth? Just talk about that for a minute.
Okay. A lot of sicknesses and diseases can hide dormant in the body.
Right.
Are you hearing me?
Yeah, let me just say, we're hearing you, but it wasn't as clear like before. I don't know if you move something or the phone is resting on something. We're hearing you now, but we're not hearing the middle part of your voice. So whatever you did before, if not, just continue. We don't want to lose you. We still have another 28 minutes to go. So just continue.
Oh, time flies.
Yeah, man. It's interesting information. Go ahead. Yeah, man. Go on, Tom.
All right. Where was I?
Yeah, you're talking about. So you were talking about some of the illness can be dormant in you. You're not even aware.
Okay. Yes. So no. Some of the a lot of illnesses can be dormant, from diabetes to various cancers, eczema, herpes. A lot of stuff we can all have, and it's dormant in our system until somehow it comes out, or our immune system is altered somehow, and then it starts to come out. Like I said, I was getting sick, and I got tested for the HIV. After the test for the HIV, after the initial test, because it was 2 tests, right? So after that initial test, I went and I got a test for everything, because I was, like I said, I was having problems. I was having coughing up phlegm, cough up a few times. I coughed up blood. Just a lot of different symptoms was going on. So they decided to run a full test of everything. And it wasn't until about I think it was the 20th or a few days after the 15th, when I was diagnosed with lung cancer and the skin cancer and stuff.
Wow. Now, so at this point, right, you found out you have these three things. At some point, though, you have to start to follow a certain routine, eat healthy, go and get your checkups. How was that going? Because looking at you now, you're super healthy. The way you look healthy compared to how you said you were before, skinny and a whole bunch of stuff. Obviously, you've been doing something correct. Talk about from the time when you start to transition to doing the right thing, follow what the doctor said versus optional medicine that you were looking into.
Okay. When I first got diagnosed, they immediately wanted to start me on antiretroviral. I don't even know how to say it, but medication that is specifically for antiviral medications, right? That are specifically for this type of thing. Again, I've never been one for doctors. I've never really been one to want to take any type of pills like Tylenol and all those kind of things, because my view is, yes, the bottle might say it's for this and that, and it might say what's in it and what's not in it, but 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to look up every ingredient to see what every ingredient is. I wasn't there to make the pills, so I'm not going to take too much medications, too much pill. I don't like it. So They wanted me to right away start it, because they said if I don't, it could be weeks before I'm gone. So they kind of convinced me, and I started to take drugs. I was first started off on one that they call Truvada, which was again something that I just is against. It was where they with needles. They had to do it, giving you through the needles and stuff like that. And I couldn't really deal with it. And not only that I couldn't deal with it, but it wasn't making any change. Nothing was getting better. Nothing was getting worse. But it was just stagnant.
So 1 second, brother David. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 11:37 a.m. We're speaking with Servant David. He's chronicling the 3 diseases he was diagnosed with February 15 of last year: lung cancer, skin cancer, and AIDS. The question I have for you, David, you were getting treatment, I think called Truvada. I'm not sure if I captured the name correctly. Obviously, you had the 3 diseases at the time, so you had to be taking multiple medications. Normally, when we hear of AIDS, the first thing they want to give you is radiation and chemotherapy. So before we go on to the alternative methods that you checked out, talk a little about any chemo or radiation you were getting, if any.
Okay, well, like I said, they didn't find out about the lung cancer. The skin cancer, they kind of put 2 and 2 together. And kind of, so I had to go to a dermatologist and all of that to get samples, et cetera, and that's how they dealt with that. The lung cancer, even though everything was kind of around the same time within a few days, they didn't find out until after I got tested with the HIV. Now, lung cancer, AIDS and HIV, they usually treat it with drugs, like pills and stuff like that. Lung cancer, skin cancer, or any other kind of cancer, they usually treat it with radiation, chemotherapy, even though chemotherapy can also be in the form of a pill, chemotherapy and radiation and some other ways that they can treat it. But the thing is, with an AIDS patient, it's very, very risky to do chemo. or any type of radiation.
Gotcha.
Because what chemo doesn't have any sense, any eyes, or any brain.
Right.
The only thing chemo it knows is how to kill all cells.
Yes.
So it's going to kill your red blood cells, your white blood cells, it's going to kill all cells.
Good and bad. Yeah.
If it kills my white blood cells, I not only just have 27, I won't have any white blood cells to fight at all. Right. Which means the virus would end up taking over completely and
reduces the chance of surviving.
Right. So within days, or right there in surgery, right there receiving chemo, I could go. So it was a risky thing. They attempted it, and like they said, they thought it was eating up my good cells. I was basically getting worse.
Yes, I understand.
Like my eyesight was going. My hair was really dropping out, and my scalp scaling off. And
all right, let me go back to this though. I know you were big in the church. You still are big in the church. At this time, while these things were happening, did you draw any affinity to anybody from the church to relate to them what you're experiencing? And did you get any help whatsoever? Take your time, man. Take your time. I know it's rough. And you've shown a lot of courage, to come and do your presentation. So let's take a deep breath and do your thing. All right. If you're ready, just go ahead and see if you can answer that.
There I'm not going to say there wasn't anybody there to give me support, because there was. But there were also those who seemed to turn from me, maybe because of stigma.
Right.
Maybe because of belief, meaning like whatever they might be thinking, why I have or why I got, or, I don't know their reasons. I don't care about their reasons. But, so there were some, but the majority of the help did not come from the church.
Understand. All right. I'm going to try and fast forward a little. I want to catch everything in the next 15 minutes. Now, you were getting treatment. You were getting help from your medical doctor. At some point, you transitioned. Talk about the transition, and to whom did you transition from herbalists, doctors, and so forth? And talk about when did you start to see the change?
Well, it wasn't about maybe 3-4 months now, about 4 months ago, when I don't know if I should say this now.
All right, hold it out here. Hold it out. Again, if you don't want to say release anything, you're free to hold back. All right. So if anything that you're not sure about, just hold back. All right. So
I'm gonna answer as I can.
Yes. Okay. No problem.
Or as wise as I can.
No problem.
It wasn't until about maybe 3-4 months ago, like I said, that after all because I started on one type and then they switched me to another type, and none of them was doing nothing for me besides a whole bunch of side effects, this and that, So I started to get frustrated, and I guess that's when I guess maybe really went into prayer, really went into seeking God, I would say. And he gave me a vision, or a dream per se, maybe a dream, I don't know. But he gave me a vision, and it was about an herbal doctor. At the time, I've never, ever in my life heard about this person or nothing like that. I never really heard about him. But in the dream, the person's name was Chevy, and he was basically guiding me to some type of doctor. But as we know, dreams are kind of funny. So I woke up and I'm sitting there, and the dream it was vivid, like if I was alive, not alive, awake, and like it was real.
Yes.
And so I woke up, I'm laying there, I'm thinking about it. And out of nowhere, a friend of mine called me. I haven't heard from this person in years, in a while, you know. And he called me, and I guess he must have heard from someone, you know, what happened or whatever. And he asked me, and I straight out and told him. And he told me to check out a doctor named Dr. Sebi. So when now mind you, I just woke up. I'm still in my bed, laying down. It had to be like 8 o'clock in the morning, 8:30 in the morning. I'm still laying down. He calls me and tells me this. So when he says Sebi, I'm thinking like a dream in my head, and then him saying Sebi, but the dream was Chevy.
Right. The dream was Chevy, and he said Sebi. Right.
So I'm thinking, and I said, okay, who is this person? He said it's an herbal doctor that they end up killing, and this and that. But he was basically telling me just to go and look him up, you know. So I went and I started looking him up, and I started, you know, following him, and he's a very, very intellectual person, very smart individual. And I just started following him and following his story and just researching him, basically. And one day I said, you know, let me try it. Let me try this. And in researching him, I didn't just research him, but I also started to research other herbalists, you know. One thing, a lot of people think Dr. Sebi is an actual doctor. Dr. Sebi is not really a doctor. He's an herbalist, but that's a little bit, you know, off point. But I just wanted to make that clear.
Understood.
So yeah, I just started, you know, looking up a lot of different herbalists, a lot of, you know, but mainly Dr. Sebi, because it seemed like he stood out more to me. Maybe because of the dream.
The dream, right? That makes sense.
Right. So maybe that I could blame that on self-preference. You know. So I like I said, I started looking up and on him and learning a lot. His products are expensive, but I was eventually able to order some of his stuff with help of some good friends of mine also help.
Yes, I would
contribute to you know, getting stuff from there to here.
Yeah.
And I started taking it. And started, the main thing though, I started to eat right. I started to change my diet. No more meat, no blood, no meat, no fish, no fried this, no fried that. I just went organic, vegan, basically. You know, and I start to see a difference. First, with my skin.
Right.
You know, and then, you know, with just the way I'm feeling, and I start to gain weight.
Right.
I start to get an appetite.
Nice.
You know? And it's a certain immune system tea that Dr. Sebi also has that I ordered, and it helps to boost your immune system. Right. So I started taking that and along with, you know, other stuff, and going to the gym.
Nice.
And you know, and I'm lazy. I'm not an exercise person. That's back in the day when I used to box,
right,
and stuff like that. That, you know, no. But when you're faced between life and death and you have to choose, a lot of times life will give you a slap in the back of the head and say, hey,
right,
you need to do this, you need to do that.
Let me ask you this quickly. We're running out of time. We only have about 5 minutes remaining. Ladies and gentlemen, again, Servant David. I can't believe the time went out so quick. All right, so Servant David, in many of your photographs that you've taken, we only see with dogs, different kind of dogs. I don't know if you train them or anything. Therapy. How does it dogs provide some form of therapy while you're going through this?
Absolutely.
How so?
You don't even have to finish the question. Absolutely. Absolutely. My preference in dog is the American Pit Bull Terrier. I've always had a love for them. I think what really got me attached to them, like I said, as a child, I was sick and always in the hospital. And they had a dog in there that I don't know if it was a pit bull or what, but it resembled a pit bull. Maybe it was, I'm not sure, but it looked like a pit bull back then. Mm-hmm. And it was like it's a therapy dog, right. You know, that they would have go around with the kids and you know, whoever. So I think that's where I really gained most of my love for dogs, you know, because I'm spending most of my time inside the hospital. The first animal that I really see is a dog. You know what I mean? So I think maybe that's where my love for dogs grew. As I got older, you know, I have a love for all dogs, but I'm in love with the American Pit Bull Terrier. I do minimum training for myself, so please nobody try to call me. I'm not going to train your dog. No. Yeah. No. So I do minimum training with my own dog. Right. You know, I chose the pit bull because the pit bull has a bad reputation, and there was a point where they were basically trying to make them extinct because everywhere you go, they're banned here, they're banned there. When they go to the Humane Society, they don't get a full chance like all the other breeds, and they end up putting them to sleep on very rare. So I know that the American Pit Bull can be used for many other things than what they initially used them for, and so that's kind of why I gravitated more to the American Pit Bull Terrier. But no, again, I do not train. So all those who may be just logging on, I don't train. I'm not training your dog. No, I will pet your dog. I will like your dog. I might love your dog, but I'm not going to train any dog.
All right. We have another 5 minutes. If anyone who's listening in the chat room or wherever, if you'd like to call in and just say a quick word, it won't be long. Just hi, and you know, any words of encouragement because we're running out of time. While that is happening, Servant David, your follow up with the medical doctors now that you've been making a lot of progress, going through the alternate medicine route, and clearly you've rebounded strongly, and you're looking strong, you're looking well, your voice is strong. I know I spoke to you the other day, and you had a little rough day, but how about the follow-up to get somebody, check out some of your current readings and make sure things are going okay? How is that like?
Well, I still keep my appointments. You know, I still go to the doctors and stuff like that. And like I said, it wasn't until about 3-4 months ago when I decided to go a different way.
We have a call coming in. We're going to see if we can pick up this one call coming in. Carla, good morning. How are you doing? Welcome to the show. Carla? Carla? Carla, you there?
Hi, Rula. It's Lee.
Brother Lee, calling all the way from Canada, my virgin. Lee, go ahead. Talk to Brother David for me now. Go ahead, sir.
David, I just wanted to call and offer some words of encouragement and let you know we are all thinking of you. And your daily messages that you provided on Facebook have always been an inspiration and helped lift me up when I've been low. And you sent me some messages on my birthday that have helped me, and I just wanted to call and try and do the same for you. So know that we're thinking of you, and we all have your our prayers are going out to you, and that's all I wanted to pass along to you, my friend.
Brother Librock, don't go. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard his name many times over the past 6 years. Like I said, I think I met Librock, Roel Lowe, a whole bunch of persons, including Servant David at the same time. He's there in Canada, and I want to say I salute yourself for calling in. David, take your time to respond to Librock. Go ahead, sir.
Bless love to you, Lee. How you do? I appreciate you. Thank you. I thank you. Thank you.
All right, bless. And just hail up his son up there for me here. Librock?
Okay.
All right.
You guys all take care. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care. Thank you so much.
God bless you, my brother.
I know.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to make a call in, I want to thank Servant David for calling in all the way from Canada. You're a little speechless there.
It make me feel good.
Yes, smart enough to make you feel good. I mean.
All right.
All right, folks, if you'd like to make a call quickly and say a shout out to Servant David, the number is 770-744-2154. David, in the meantime, you were about to answer, but then you hesitated about the follow-up checkups and so forth.
I go for my follow-ups. Okay. I'm just gonna say, I stopped taking my meds. The meds that they were giving me, I did not tell them. I don't know if any of the nurses or doctors or anybody is listening. 3-4 months ago, I stopped taking my meds because, like I said, the first time they would give me a certain one, it didn't work. They switched to another one, and it was still the same results, side effects, this and that. So I decided to stop, but I did not tell the doctors that I decided to stop. I decided to go, the herbal way and changing my diet and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I decided to also, not just because a lot of times they will do all type of things, and I'm kind of afraid that they will try and knock me up or think I'm crazy trying to kill me. I don't know. So that's why I didn't tell them that I stopped taking my meds. But if they are watching now, yeah, I stopped taking it and I've been going, herbal. But yet, as you know, I've still been coming for my check-ins.
Mm-hmm.
And to tell you the truth, the levels have dropped. The virus levels has dropped, and my CD4 levels has risen.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the main reasons. That is the main reason, probably the only reason why I'm looking way better than I was.
Yes.
I'm feeling way much better.
Yeah.
And stuff because my immune system is starting to build back up.
Mm-hmm. All right, I tell you what, we run out of time, but I'm going to give you at least 90 seconds to summarize this, and any words of inspiration, any words of encouragement, anything. You've said a whole lot thus far, which should have inspired person, but just sum it all together in terms of what we've talked about and words of hope, because there are probably people out there today who are going through some probably equally as rougher times and they don't know the call in and struggling. So just take a time and just heal up those people for me.
I want to say thanks to everyone who is logged on, everyone who is watching. I can't see or anything like that, but for everyone that is logged on and checked in, I want to thank you all. Thank you again, Rula. As far as this thing go, this AIDS started out
I think back in the 70s, the 80s. And after a while, it kind of died down and nobody was really talking about it. So I want to shed a...
Yeah, David? Oh, don't tell me. It looks like he's frozen. He's frozen on his end. It could be his phone that's caught us. Well, it's 12 o'clock and yeah, he's dropped off. But ladies and gentlemen, I think his battery may have died or something. All right, he's calling in. Yes, David, finish your thoughts. We won't get you back on camera, but just finish your thoughts there, David. Sorry about that. Go ahead, please.
That's okay. I just want to shed some awareness on it. Knowing is better than not knowing. So please, go get tested. Go get tested for HIV. Go get tested for syphilis. Go get tested for lung cancer. Go get tested. I'm not saying you have to rely specifically on your doctors or anything like that, but go and get tested, because knowing is better than not knowing. It's better to be prepared than to be unprepared. And don't anybody that you may have come in contact with that you know, don't shun them. Don't turn away from them, because what they need is support. They need that friendship. They might not reach out to you for the help because a lot of times they feel shame, or they feel like they don't want to bother anybody, or whatever reasons they may have. So sometimes it's up to you to reach out to others and encourage them to continue to keep on. And in a way, that's what I'm doing right now, encouraging each and every one of you to keep on keeping on, to live in love. Love is the key. And as I kind of ended off by saying, I stopped taking my meds and I started to, go the other way. Again, this is not a pity party. So please don't have pity on me. Just continue to pray for me and know that it is well with my soul. All is well. I love each and every one of you. Manners.
Manners, I respect, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the voice of Mr. Servant David. My brethren, I've known him for a number of years. Our humble brother, as you've seen there. And we certainly all want to wish him the best. And I'll be in constant contact with him. He's a brother I've admired for a while, in terms of, usually comes into the chat room and he's always positive. I know him and Roel Lowe and Liebrock and a couple of the other guys, they usually have a bond that I really admire. And to know that he has gone through these trying times and are able to call in and share his story with us, it takes a lot of courage to do so. So, big man, blessed love to you and take care of yourself, big man. Much love and respect, sir. All right, folks, we're going to end it here. Servant David, longing for home. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself, big man. All right, folks, that just about does it for me today. Ruler Brown on the Ruler Brown Network. You heard the story right here. We're going to have that up on Facebook, on YouTube, and Twitter, and Instagram. Yes, indeed. I want to thank you so much. Again, folks, remember tomorrow, She-Rob will be here from the Tony Rob Network. And indeed, yes, indeed. Better bring yourself to Sunday. Slow jams on Sunday. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye. Peace and love. Remember, never look down on a man unless you're going to help him up. If you're down there, you're certainly need help. And indeed, if you give a man a fish, you feed him for the day. Teach him to fish him, not empower him to make this world a much better place. Take care of yourself. Ruler Brown said peace out. Bye-bye.
Sweet rest can be found. I'm just about through with this whole house of clay. I'm leaving this world for glory someday. When the last year in my life's been traveled, and the gates of that city swing high, that feeling will be to know that heaven is mine. Beyond all pain, love, sorrow, with Jesus forever I'll be. Oh, to that city I'm going, behold the Savior to see.